Identity is the set of qualities, beliefs, personality traits, and expressions that make a person or group uniquely recognizable. Let's try this again. Hey, it's our boy Suru, and I'm an indie game developer. And over the last 7 months, I've been trying to figure out what kind of game I actually want to make. When I started Zaphire First Surge, I honestly just wanted to make something cool. Fast movement, cool androids, stylish combat, and hand-drawn animation. Naturally, that meant pulling inspiration from the games that led me to appreciate these things. Like the classic Mega Man games, Mighty Gunvolt Burst, Sonic Rush, Kirby Planet Robobot, and Hollow Knight Silksong. These were games with speed, games with energy, games that made you feel powerful just by moving. And outside of games, there was anime, which influenced me heavily too. Stories where characters continue moving forward even when everything around them is falling apart. Not because they lack fear, but because they are driven by the significance of their purpose. These stories matter to me. These worlds of fantasy encourage me to keep facing my own reality, and inspired me to create worlds and encouraging stories of my own. Yet, over time, I realized inspiration alone wasn't enough. Because if you only combine things you like, you can accidentally lose your own voice in the process. One of the weirdest parts about game development is realizing that games have identities. And when your game doesn't fully have one yet, you can feel it. Every new mechanic feels disconnected. Every asset design feels temporary. Every cool idea feels like it belongs to a different project. And honestly, that's kind of where I've been these past several months. Not because the game is failing, but because I'm still learning what this game is actually trying to become. I think a lot of indie developers go through this phase. You spend so much time asking, is this mechanic fun? Does this animation look good? Will people like this? That you forget to ask, what does this project actually stand for? Eventually, I stopped asking, what features should I add? And started asking, what message do I want this game to leave behind? That changed everything. Because underneath all the action and movement, Zaphire First Surge is really about purpose. The story follows androids created for specific roles and directives. Machines built with a purpose already assigned to them. With each interaction they have with humans, they delve deeper into their purpose. They will embark on a journey of self-discovery, where they reflect on the meaning of their existence. Will they accept their purpose, reject it, or choose to reshape it? The stakes are significant, and the path is often unclear, but each encounter sparks a meaningful change, bringing them closer to a clearer understanding of themselves. I believe this resonates with many people. So many of us are trying to figure out, what am I supposed to become? What am I moving toward? What is worth sacrificing for? And more importantly, how far someone is willing to go to fulfill what they believe their purpose is. And honestly, a lot of those ideas come from my faith. As a Christian, I think a lot about perseverance, hope, identity, purpose. And while I don't want the game to feel preachy, I do want it to feel sincere. Because I think the best stories reveal something genuine about the person creating them. Not a trend, not an algorithm, a person. And I think games become memorable when they carry honest emotion behind them, even if the player can't fully explain why. One thing I didn't expect while writing the story was how important the human characters would become, especially the doctors. Because while the androids carry out the conflict, the humans created the world they existed. The doctors represent ambition, legacy, creation, and sometimes the danger of becoming so obsessed with your vision that you stop thinking about the consequences. Some create out of hope, some create out of fear, and some create because they're terrified of being forgotten. The androids may fight the battles, but the humans are often the reason those battles exist in the first place. Visually, I've been trying to figure out what this game should feel like. Since the game uses hand-drawn 2D art and animation, I realized really quickly that every artistic decision changes the personality of the game. The line work, the motion, the silhouettes, the effects, even the way the characters pose during movement. At first, I focused mostly on making things look cool, but eventually I realized style without identity doesn't last very long. So instead of trying to imitate old games directly, I started focusing on the feeling I wanted players to have while playing. Speed, momentum, impact, and determination. That feeling of pushing forward no matter what's in front of you. And once I understood that, the art direction started becoming much clearer. The funny thing is, even after 7 months of development, I still feel like I'm discovering what this game really wants to be. And I think that's one of the hardest parts about creating something original. Not programming, not art, not animation. Identity. Because identity isn't something you force into existence overnight. It's something you uncover gradually, through iteration, mistakes, experimentation, and reflection. And honestly, I think Zaphire First Surge is finally starting to become more than just a collection of inspirations. It's slowly becoming its own thing. Being an indie developer is strange, because you're simultaneously the creator and the first person doubting the creation. Every mechanic feels questionable. Every design decision feels temporary. And every time you improve, your standards improve too. So sometimes it feels like you're chasing something you can never fully reach. But I think that's part of the process. Right now, Zaphire First Surge is still becoming what it's meant to be. But for the first time, I feel confident in the direction. A game about movement, purpose, conflict, hope, and the perseverance to keep moving forward despite uncertainty. There's still a long road ahead. A lot to improve, a lot to learn, a lot to build. But honestly, I'm excited to keep discovering what this project can become. Thank you for watching. If you want to follow the development of Zaphire First Surge, consider subscribing. I'll be sharing devlogs, art, gameplay, progress, music, and honestly, the entire journey of figuring this thing out. Also, if you want to directly support me and my dreams of becoming a real deal indie game dev, I recently created a Patreon with multiple membership tiers for you to choose from, each with its own set of goodies. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Newgrounds. Once again, thanks for watching. And with that, I shall leave you with this final thought. Peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the perseverance of faith, joy, and hope despite it.